is a chapter I cannot argue against, so I'm actually happy that was released. Setup chapters, or at least the chapters what happens after Luffy causes a storm, are among the most best of the One Piece chapter. Sorry, may have a slight cold. However, I was surprised we were gonna get the chapters at all. I mean, at the beginning I thought this week was the golden week. Then I actually thought it was gonna be next week, and then it turns out, yes, it's next week. Oh well, it's I never understood this schedule anyway. The One Piece chapter 903. Me, the angry anime fan here, the despair reviewer, to bring you it. As we are treated to a color page about old allies will appearing one after another. The Reverie arc that we have been heard for the last 4 years are all suspecting to become something worth watching. Although the other cover story is now gonna be about the final member of the Straw Hat Clan fleet. I mean, they are the final member, right? Urumbu's fleet. Either way, on the ship, it turns out that Niji somehow managed to sneak in a third raid suit in Luffy's pocket, which Sanji correctly guesses that Niji was looking down on him, so he was doing that. Of course, Luffy and Chopper do not want to throw away such amazing technology, mostly because, well, they can shoot lasers, but Sanji, who do not want to be reminded of his German heritage, more than that, do not want to get his strength from the kind of science that created slaves, do not want to use the raid suit. It is it's apparent that it's apparent though that only Sanji can use this raid suit because Luffy cannot. We're also treated to the fact that Zeus now lives inside of Nami's Klimatact as her slave, which of course Sanji do not like, mostly because he is her slave. Although, well, Zeus doesn't seem to mind being the slave, but also saying that he has no choice. Well, that is kind of funny. And with that, news report comes in, including some new bounties. But there is no news if Jinbei or the others are alive. But it does say that Luffy, Sanji, Jinbei, and Besh attempted to assassinate Big Mom. So, I mean, we can all assume that Jinbei and the Germa get away, because hey, why not? And we also see a bounty posters. One of them is from Sanji, who now has a bounty of 330 million. Zoro's latest bounty was 320. However, I have a very big feeling it has increased after the whole Kick Island arc. Mostly because all the other members got their bounty increased. But finally Sanji has a valuable bounty, so to speak. However, now he is called Windsmoke Sanji, dead or alive, which, well, we all know that Sanji do not like to get his name from that way. In a way, I'm happy that Sanji finally got a bounty worth over that much. That means he's officially declared a supernova. What I do not like is Sanji did practically nothing this arc. Meaning, in a way, did he even deserve that huge bounty increase? The fact that Oda sees Sanji as his least favorite character is something I still cannot forgive. It's basically just throwing a dog bow moment or something like that. Whatever happened to Sanji kicking some ass after a while? Now all he did was bake a cake that didn't even work, and more than that. Stuff like that. Well, either way, I'll take that bounty increase, only because it was about damn time Sanji got some huge recognition. But again, people will still say that Sanji do not deserve that bounty increase, because, again, he practically did nothing this arc. But Luffy is depressed. Apparently his bounty went down to 150. Nami is of course good, but we don't really know if that's true. And then finally we're switching to the royalties, who are all preparing. The royals of Fisherman Island are all preparing to set off. And finally Shirahoshi has decided to follow with them. It appears also that a marine ship actually has managed to reach the place. Huh, surprising. As the news are spreading all over the world about Luffy's latest supernova, we are also treated to a scene with Crocodile, who now seems to live in a fancy place with subordinates. Are you telling me that that annoying Crocodile actually has created a second Barocco Works? And we are also seeing silhouettes of the Grand Fleet, who of Cavendish and Bartolomeo, who are obviously spreading the rumor that there are 7 powerful pirates now serving under Luffy's flag, which we all know is both true and not true. Technically, they're not serving; they see themselves as serving, but Luffy do not. And also the rumors about being the sworn brother of the second in command of the revolutionary. And we also treated to a scene of Beige, who was obviously angry. I think he is angry because he was the one who came up with the assassination plan of Big Mom, and yet it is Straw Hat Luffy that is mentioned a lot during this, arc. We're also treated to a scene to Marines, and the strange thing is that we do see Akainu. However, it does seem though that we do not see what what is that word? We do not see what Akainu thinks of this, because the only thing he is concerned about is that he hears that a princess was kidnapped during, the Grand Fleet. So, no, not the Grand Fleet. Sorry, I stammered my word. What I'm trying to say is that a princess was adopted by pirates. She was from the Ilusa Kingdom, which is apparently the kingdom that Fala Lucas came from. The one who, I think talked about the dragon being a threat and all. I don't understand how pirates actually could kidnap a princess like that, but yeah, they did. So I find it pretty strange that Ake, is actually caring about not caring, but the fact that why didn't escort to protect them? Why is he so eager to getting all the royals here? He must have an ulterior motive. We're also treated to a scene of the Dressrosa, as well as the Fighting King, as well as some of the dwarfs. We see a pirates planning to attacking the ship and kidnap Princess Viola, and they see the princess that they have kidnapped. Apparently they're using a submarine. Huh, no wonder they managed to attack. As they fire a missile, somehow someone actually crashes into the water and redirects the missile, as he practically uses Geppo in the ocean. Who is that one? Well, none other than Captain Kobe. You all remember him. It was said a very long time ago, and mostly in anime original media, that Kobe has now reached the rank of captain. And now we see him for the first time in manga. He really has become more of a man, I gotta say. Now, if they only replaced that annoying female voice with him in the anime, I would be fine. So, he has now a scar there, a scarf over there, and, he just looks more like a man. And apparently, since he could swim as well in water, he used Geppo, similar to Sanji uses underwater. It's very apparent that he has yet eaten a devil fruit. As with that, he has boarded the ship of Dressrosa and tells them about that he managed to avert the disaster. And we also treated to a scene of Helmeppo, who is now a lieutenant commander, as the media said. And they have managed to sink the submarine and capture the pirates. And Helmeppo just says how jealous he is of Kobe's color of observation. The way he was saying, I wasn't able to sense a thing. Is that meant to suggest that Helmeppo has also awakened his observation haki, but it's of course not strong as Kobe's. And apparently Kobe is famous because he is the hero who protected all the citizens in the Rocky Port incident. This is the second time we are mentioned about that. You all remember who was the mastermind of the Rocky Port incident? Apparently that was Trafalgar Law. And the way they say that Kobe protected the citizens, that could possibly be the first time well, not the first time, but whatever the Rocky Port incident was, it actually did create civilians in danger, and Kobe protected them all. I guess that's how he became a captain. He's seeing Kuros. Kobe's also a pretty humble man now. Well, he always was, and he's saying that he thinks Kuros looks strong. As he's also treated to a newspaper about Luffy. It's apparent that apparently he needs to wield glasses now to read. He's also very happy for Luffy, but Rebecca sees that and he has to put on a show that no, he's my enemy. Of course, he's a very bad one. Elsewhere, Kaido curses Luffy for being an old hag. We are seeing Blackbeard, who is saying that it's too soon for you to become an emperor. And finally, Big Mom, although we do not see her, apparently she's back in the Whole Cake Island. And the newspaper is saying that Straw Hat was the victor over Big Mom. It doesn't exactly say if it beat Big Mom, but he was the victor. And in a way, he was. Because if you think about it, he defeated 2 of her sweet commanders. He entered Totland and got away, mind you. He got the Germa on his side. He got the Sun Pirate on his side. More than that, he actually managed to clash briefly with her, even though he didn't do anything about that. And he ruined her plans to take over the Germa. So in a way, this is a victor of Straw Hat Luffy, even though I would have preferred if he had just beaten Big Mom. So of course she is upset hearing all this. So it's obviously that Morgans did that. But did he publish fake news about all this? I mean, he saw the truth. If you to publish fake news, I wonder. Why would he do that? I mean, I know why he would do that. He's a newspaper person. They always do corrupt news. What I'm trying to say is, did he stretch the truth in order to get a little bit more exciting news, or did he report it just the way he thought it was be? Don't forget he is voting for Luffy as one of the new pirate kings. So of course Big Mom is upset about this Morgans and also about Straw Hat. So is it a possibility she is going to chase after Luffy after all? More than that, now that she's back in the Whole Cake Island arc, is that meant to include that the Germa and the Jinbei actually managed to get away? Finally, we are treated to a scene with Sanji, who is saying that we will soon meet Luffy. And at long last, the final scene in the one is Brook checking Luffy's bounty to see is it really 150. And Luffy apparently missed a couple of zeros. It is not 150. It has not gone down. It has gone up. His bounty is now 1.5 billion berries. And with that, the disappointment turns into extreme shock. Luffy is now worth over 1 billion. The excitement starts. Yeah, this was a chapter I liked. Setup chapters, old faces, foreshadowing for something. And yes, and the crew is heading towards Wano. Now, if we only could see if Jinbei and Germa survive, why would Niji give Sanji a raid suit? Well, obviously, it must have been because he was looking down on him, as Sanji said. I still would have preferred that Sanji just have kicked the Germa's asses. But now Sanji has a high bounty, and I'm happy with that, even though I'm very sad that he didn't do a single thing about it. Luffy is now worth over 1 billion, and the newspaper is now calling him the 5th Emperor. But Blackbeard says it's too soon for him to be an emperor. In a way, that is true. However, we all should know that Luffy is now heading towards Wano, and there exists another emperor, Kaido, meaning that if Luffy can now be called the 5th Emperor, he will have to prove it right there and there on that field. All in all, finally a chapter of One Piece I like, but you give me your thoughts if you have any.